Kyle Murphy hopes Madonna was correct when she said music makes people come together.
The situation in New Haven has made Jeffrey Karikas critical of longer term limits. However, here in Prospect, the mayor believes that there's no substitute for experience.
Spring is here, and so is a new place for Quinnipiac students to hang out after class.
They've continued to create a buzz about a new frozen yogurt cafe in town. Megan Miller has more.
Just halfway through the first game of the season, the Cheshire Rams are already looking extremely dominant. As you can see behind me, they're already up 36-0 after 2 quarters of play. And we won't be surprised to see some backups coming in for the second half.
The salmonella outbreak in the United States has made its way to Connecticut. State health officials reported on Tuesday that 5 Connecticut residents have been diagnosed with salmonella. On June 23, 1972, President Nixon signed Title IX, a law that granted equal opportunities to all people without the threat of discrimination based on gender. No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance.
When I was going to high school, there was no Title IX. So I was very fortunate to attend a high school which had some athletic opportunities for girls.
But today, every school in the country offers equal opportunities in athletics. A recent study shows that women's participation in high school athletics has jumped from almost 300,000 in 1972 to just under 3 million in 2006, an increase of over 900%. In colleges, women's participation increased over 450% in the same time period. Title IX has even motivated some people outside the realm of athletics.
It's allowed great opportunities for me. It allowed me to play sports, which allowed me to be a leader, to play team ball, to work with others, to be cooperative, and just to put your nose to the grind and get the job done.
In Connecticut, Title IX inspired the creation of the country's first Women's Basketball Hall of Fame.
The guys were always getting recognized for something, and women weren't. There was nothing for the women. I finally said, you know, why aren't they recognizing women? Why is it always men that's getting recognized? And I said, maybe we need something of our own. And I said, maybe we need a Hall of Fame to recognize women who have played the game.
The Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame has been promoting the recognition of women's athletics for 25 years. And this year, they helped the All-American Redheads, a women's basketball team from the mid-1900s, get inducted into the National Basketball Hall of Fame.
I was the one that wrote the nomination for Naismith. The Redheads became the first women's team ever inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Despite their support of equal opportunities for women, the Redheads were actually hurt by Title IX.
One thing that's very ironic with Title IX, it was probably a nail in the coffin of barnstorming teams like the All-American Redheads, because now it gave women an equal footing when it came to athletics and education in public systems.
To learn more about Title IX, the All-American Redheads, and the Hall of Fame, visit www.ctwomensbasketballhalloffame.com. For Q30, this is Jake Brichta.
Jake Brichta is here to tell us what teams are on top. How are the Bobcats doing, Jake?
Well, the men's hockey team has advanced to the ECAC quarterfinals. Over the weekend, the Bobcats won the last 2 games in a best-of-3 series against Brown. Now they face Colgate in another best-of-3 series starting tomorrow night. And the women's basketball team faced Monmouth in the NEC tournament semifinals Tuesday night. Junior Felicia Barron was honored before the game for scoring her 1,000th career point in the quarterfinal against Mount St. Mary's. She adds 3 more to her career total with this basket seconds after the opening tip. That's the only highlight the Bobcats had in the first half. Monmouth's Alicia Womack hits this jumper. She led all scorers with 21 points. Monmouth led by 14 at the half. The Bobcats mount a comeback in the second, starting with this fast break layup by Brittany McQuain. She finished the game with 20. Later, Jasmine Martin nails a 3 from the corner. She also had 20. Down by 2 with seconds left, Felicia Barron takes a 3 for the win, but falls short. The Bobcats would foul after Monmouth got the rebound. After making 1 of 2 from the line, Quinnipiac has one last chance down by 3. Barron for the tie? No. The Monmouth Hawks win 69-66. They face Sacred Heart in the NEC tournament final. On Sunday, the men's basketball team lost in their NEC tournament semifinal. They fell to the NEC's top-ranked team LIU Brooklyn 78-75. LIU went on to defeat Robert Morris last night by the final of 90-73. The Blackbirds advanced to the NCAA tournament for the 2nd year in a row. Also, UConn will not repeat their miracle run from last year. They lost to Syracuse this afternoon 58-55 in the Big East quarterfinal, but they're still on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. The Nets and the Clippers came down to the wire last night. The Nets are down 2 with under 10 seconds to play when Jordan Farmar hits this three. Check this out. The Nets pull out a victory 101-100. Also in the NBA, both the Knicks and Celtics dropped games last night. The Celtics were crushed by the 76ers 103-71, and the Knicks were beaten by the Spurs 118-105. Well, the Colts have finally made a decision regarding quarterback Peyton Manning. Colts owner Jim Irsay says the team is releasing Manning after 14 seasons. During his time in Indianapolis, Manning won a league record 4 MVP awards and Super Bowl MVP honors at the Colts' Super Bowl 41 victory. Manning was very emotional at the announcement yesterday.
I will leave the Colts with nothing but good thoughts and gratitude to Jim, the organization, my teammates, the media, and especially the fans.
The Colts will avoid paying Manning the $28 million bonus he would have been owed if he wasn't released by today. They're now expected to take Stanford quarterback Andrew Luck with the #1 overall pick in April's draft. And finally, there's lots of exciting NHL games tonight. The Boston Bruins host the Buffalo Sabres, and the Islanders face the Devils in New Jersey. Face-off for those games is at 7, and the New York Rangers travel north to take on the Ottawa Senators. Puck drops for that one at 7:30. That's it for sports. Back to you guys.
Fencing isn't a very popular sport, but it's become a lifelong commitment for these Cheshire students.
I had been fencing since 4th grade when one of my best friends told me, hey, there's a fencing clinic down the street, you want to give it a shot? And I said, what boy wouldn't want to try sword fighting?
Coach Jim Poling has been with the Cheshire Fencing Club since it began, 6 years ago.
At that time, we didn't have space in the high school that we could use, so we started offering classes through the YMCA. And that's how the club grew and grew, is through that base at the Y.
Over the last 5 years, the Cheshire Fencing Club has been successful in gaining recognition. However, this year, they faced a difficult challenge of recruiting new fencers.
Well, we took a heavy hit with our graduating seniors. It's not unlike any other sport that has students that come and go, and so we're kind of in a rebuilding year, but I think we're going to do just fine.
The fencers of last year's senior class, like QU freshman Chris Maruzzi, were the first group to show interest in a fencing club.
We talked to the coach a little bit about that. He claims it's a building year since a lot of the inaugural members have graduated last year. Would you agree with what he said?
I would absolutely agree. They have very good leadership.
Despite losing the club's first class, this team has chosen to look ahead.
Last year, my FA team actually won states. It was a really good experience, so we're trying to do it again.
Jacob Brichta, QNN Sports.
There were a few records set this week in the world of sports.
Jake Brichta is here to tell us more.
Well, guys, on Sunday, the softball team swept Sacred Heart in a doubleheader, winning the first game 12-7 and the second game 5-4. The Lady Bobcats tied an NCAA record in Game 1 by hitting 4 consecutive home runs in the first inning. They took that momentum into yesterday's game against Fairfield. We pick up the action in the second inning with the game tied at 0. Bridget Figmick hits an RBI double to left field. That makes it a 1-0 game. Later in the second, Jackie Risto rips a single to center field. Figmick scores from third, but Ashley Heiberger is thrown out, trying to score from second. It's still a 2-0 game at this point, and that's all the offense they needed. Heather Schwartzberg came in to relieve starter Katie Alfieri in the 5th, and Schwartzberg was untouchable. She struck out 6 in 2 2/3 innings of relief, and the Lady Bobcats pick up the win 2-0. The Lady Bobcats weren't the only ones to set a record this weekend. This past Sunday in Naugatuck, 2 teams set a new Guinness World Record for the longest continuous game of kickball. The game began last Friday morning and continued until Sunday afternoon. It lasted 54 hours, spanning 345 innings, and ended with a final score of 164-117. The game was played in honor of 2 local children who survived cancer. They raised over $45,000 for cancer research. This afternoon is opening day for Major League Baseball. Both the Red Sox and Mets were in action. We'll start with the Mets, who hosted the Atlanta Braves. Johan Santana had a strong outing. Here he fans Jason Hayward, followed by Brian McCann and Dan Ugla. He struck out 5 in 5 innings of work. Only 1 run was scored in this game, and it was in the 6th inning. David Wright singles to left, scoring Andres Torres from third, and the Mets win 1-0. The Red Sox and Tigers had still been playing. The Tigers had a 2-0 lead in the ninth, but Jose Valverde blew the save, giving up 2 runs to the Sox. They were tied in the bottom of the ninth, and we have word just into the QNN newsroom that the Tigers have actually won the game in the bottom of the ninth by a final score of 3-2. The Yankees will begin their season against the Rays tomorrow afternoon in Tampa Bay. And finally, the Masters Golf Tournament kicked off this morning. The big story there is Tiger Woods, who won the Arnold Palmer Invitational in March. And that was his first win in a PGA tournament since 2009. Wood finished his first round at even par, which currently has him tied for 25th. There's a 5-way tie for leader at -3. People tied for the lead include Lee Westwood and Jason Duffner. And that's it for sports. Back to you guys.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 1/3 of adults in the United States are considered obese. In Connecticut, several organizations are dedicated to helping children eat healthier.
School Nutrition Association, part of our little motto is we want to help kids make the right food choices together. We do what we can in the schools to promote good nutrition and health through our menu choices and through nutrition education.
And their strategies have been working. Connecticut has the 5th lowest childhood obesity rate in the country, and it's because of organizations like the School Nutrition Association and their ability to identify the most prevalent causes of childhood obesity.
Portion sizes have changed dramatically over the years. One thing that people are going to see with the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act is increased portions of fruits and vegetables and decreased entree size portions, which I think is really going to be concerning to some children because they're just used to much larger portions. We're serving what we call age-appropriate portions.
School districts in Connecticut, like this one in Meriden, can also apply for the Healthy Food Certification Program, which reimburses schools based on the number of meals they serve.
The State Department of Education will provide you with an additional 10 cents of funding for each lunch that you serve if you agree only to serve snacks in your vending machines, school stores, and in your cafeteria that meet specific nutrition standards.
The Meriden Public School District is trying some creative techniques to get their students to eat healthier. Here at the Yale campus, the Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity is trying to understand why the rate of overweight and obese children is so high.
Kids really develop very poor eating habits early where they're snacking a lot, they're not sitting down and having meals as a family.
Dr. Marlene Schwartz has been working with the Rudd Center for 6 years. As a mother, she believes a majority of the responsibility falls on the parents.
I think parents have been sort of brainwashed into thinking that there are kids' foods that have to be very sweet, you know, brightly colored, heavily marketed, and parents think that that's really the only type of food that you should give your child.
Some parents have started taking matters into their own hands. According to Yahoo.com, a controversial drug trial is taking place in Great Britain. Dangerously overweight moms-to-be in 4 British cities have started taking a diabetes drug during pregnancy to trim their risk for giving birth to an overweight child.
My initial reaction is one of skepticism about a drug making a difference. At the same time, the risk is real that if you have an overweight diabetic mother, the child will be born at higher risk than a child from a healthy mother.
These organizations continue to look for ways to end childhood obesity and improve our nation's health. Jacob Brichta, Q30.